Scrolling through Zack Films shorts is sort of like gambling, because 99% of the time, the video will be about something educational or even fascinating. However, every 100 videos, you'll come across the most cursed and disturbing videos you didn't even know Zack was capable of making.
She cut through his frostbitten foot using only scissors, and the man felt everything. When it was done, she kept the foot in a freezer, hoping to take it home and cover it in resin. You see, her family owned a taxidermy shop, and she planned to display the foot in the window with a sign that read, "Wear your boots, kids." When the man died, she tried to steal the foot, but the other nurses stopped her, and his foot was finally sent off with the body.
Bro, what type of psychopath tries to steal a dead man's foot? This guy was 80 years old as well. That would be the nastiest smelling foot. Maybe this person had a bit of a foot fetish. Like, okay, to be fair, like, okay, I would take a cheeky whiff. But she cut the guy's foot off using only scissors. Isn't that, like, tortuous? Shouldn't you use proper equipment? Like, and shouldn't the nurse? I don't think the nurse should be the one to cut off the foot. Shouldn't the surgeon be the one to cut off the foot? Like, even if it's like a dead foot? Because then at least the surgeon can cut it off without, you know, so much blood leaking everywhere. Because the guy felt everything, every stroke of the scissors. I guarantee that's the reason why this guy died. The guy wouldn't have bled to death if an actual surgeon, like, cut it off. Because then the surgeon would have been able to control the blood loss and everything. But what type of household decoration would this be? So I think she's gonna put the sign, "Wear your boots, kids," so that they don't, like, the kids don't get frostbite. But to be fair, I guess this would be a decent way to convince your kids to put on boots. But also, it would be a very decent way to traumatize them for life. Can't you just get, like, a model foot? Like, can't you just buy a fake foot and color it in, like, paint it in black like that, as if it has, like, frostbite or something?
If you get stabbed in the eye, place a cup around the knife and wrap it in gauze to stabilize it. Then cover both eyes. This is because if one moves, the other moves too, which can tear the wound open even more. Keep your head still and get to the emergency room, where doctors will carefully remove it before sealing up the hole in your eye.
Bro, but I think you've forgotten to consider one crucial thing. How the frick are you meant to see and make your way to the hospital if you have both eyes covered by this stupid thing? Because one eye is covered with a beer pong cup and the other eye is covered with a pirate eye patch. And so you're completely blind. How are you meant to make your way to the emergency room? Is this meant to be some sort of tutorial? What are you meant to do if you're stabbed in the eye? So is the next step to drive in a car with both eyes covered and just, like, you know, just hope you get your way to the hospital without crashing? Like, I understand the theory behind this. Like, I understand it's smart to cover the eye so that you don't accidentally move the other eye. Like, that makes logical sense. But what doesn't make logical sense is the way that you're meant to walk to the emergency room. Bro, I feel like you're gonna get hit by a car and die before you even make it to the emergency room. You'll die from getting hit by a car before you can even die from this injury.
If you were crushed with a hydraulic press, would it be strong enough to press you into a tiny cube? Well, your body is mostly made of water, and water can't be compressed. So you would have to remove all of the fluids by drying out completely. Then you'd have to grind up your bones and organs into fine powder. Finally, you could crush it all together, turning an entire human into a dense little cube about the size of a football.
And what the frick are you meant to do with it from there? Are we meant to turn it into a football? We're meant to turn the skin into, like, the leather skin of a football and play with it, throw it around as if it's nothing? But I mean, you could do that. You could actually do that, which is kind of disturbing. Because some footballs are made out of, like, genuine, authentic leather, like cow skin. And so what's stopping us from making it out of human skin? Bro, this was literally me after the 2015 Gooner World Cup when I had to goon, was it like 16 times, like 17 times in a row? I gooned 17 times in a row to clutch the final. But yeah, I was absolutely drained after that. So basically, we're going to be turning humans into those WALL-E sort of cubes. Like, have you guys watched the movie WALL-E where, like, he sort of compresses, like, the rubbish into, like, the cubes? We can create these towers out of human cubes instead of the trash cubes.
The tube is guided through your eye socket if your face is too injured for a regular breathing tube. You see, your eyes, nose, and throat are actually all connected, and when the tube is pushed through your eye, it makes its way into the open space behind your nose. From there, it's pushed downward into your airway, and oxygen is pumped into your lungs, saving your life.
But why can't you just put it through the mouth? Like, the mouth connects with the mouth, isn't it? Why can't you just put it through the throat, like the regular way? Wouldn't that be more effective as well? Why do you have to do this special technique? Is this some sort of, like, surgical DLC? I've never heard of this before. Why would anyone want to do this? Maybe the surgeon wanted to practice some really niche technique that he would never get the opportunity to practice ever again. But Jesus Christ, this guy got banged up pretty badly. So maybe he, I think it was in a car crash, he hit his head on the windshield, or maybe he just got done finishing like a brutal scene on like Pornhub or something. But actually, why do you even need this tube to begin with? Like, why can't you just breathe normally without the tube? I think I would much rather just, you know, wake up by myself and breathe normally rather than have a stupid tube like shoved down my eye. What an eye-opening and breathtaking shot. Get it? Because it's like the eye opened and it was like breathtaking because it's like it was about breathing.
If your hand gets caught in a meat grinder, the sharp blades inside would start tearing into the skin and tissue, pulling deeper with each rotation. Now, if you try to pull your hand out, it may grip tighter with the resistance. Instead, you should immediately turn off the machine to stop further damage. Then, carefully try to reverse the grinder to get your mangled hand out.
Bro, but wouldn't reversing it do just as much damage as, like, you know, just like trying to pull it out normally? And what do you mean try to reach for the button? Bro, you did not reach for the button at all. Some random NPC had to come out of nowhere to save you. Who is this guy, bro? He looks like a football player in like the Premier League or something. But they say the blades would start tearing your skin and pulling you deeper into the machine. I guess that's sort of similar to like the Hawk Tour, because if you try to pull your dingling out of her mouth, usually she grips on it with teeth and tries to suck it even further in. And so pro-life tip, never accept the Hawk Tour from someone who has braces.
The bird was stuffed inside the doll, and a head was placed on top. When the child picked it up, it would twitch and move. Even its beak would open and close. But as the bird struggled to escape, it would make the toy move, almost like it was powered by gears. Now, eventually, the bird would die, and the doll would turn into a coffin, holding the rotting corpse of the trapped animal.
Jesus Christ. No context at all. When did this happen? Is this even real? We didn't even get a date or like a name or anything. So I think some random girl accidentally somehow got a bird into here. But how would you be able to fit a bird into here? Like, how could you get a bird without it trying to fly away? I don't know about this one. I kind of doubt this one was real. But if it was real, this girl, I guarantee she grew up to become a serial killer. Because there is no way, absolutely no way, you do not realize that the bird is going to eventually die in there. Like, I guarantee this person knew that the bird was about to die a slow, painful, agonizing death. Yet she still did it anyways because she wanted to have some fun. Like, the doll already looks like a mutant to begin with. It has a bird head with like human like bodies. Imagine the humiliation of being a bird and dying in this person's doll. Imagine what the rest of the birds in your pack, or like whatever the birds have. Like, imagine what the rest of the birds in the pack thought of you.
You would skin the dead baby goat, making sure to include the ears and tail. Then you would tie the fresh hide onto another baby goat whose mother had died. You see, normally, if you try to get the mother to adopt a kid, she'll know it's not hers and could trample it to death. But when you dress the orphan in her dead baby's skin, the scent fools her into thinking it's her own kid. Once she starts sniffing it, it means she has accepted it. And if she lets it drink her milk, she has adopted it as her own.
But Zack, I think you're forgetting one crucial detail. Where the frick are you going to get that dead baby goat from? So you're gonna go out of your way to kill this mother's baby goat just so that you can force it to adopt this other baby goat? Because that baby goat was perfectly fine as it was before. It was just that this original goat, like the goat's mom died already. And so you could have just let that family live. You could have let the baby goat and the mom just live. But instead you decided to do a switcheroo for science. Because what if the mother rejected this goat anyways? Like, then you would have two dead baby goats and one alive mother. Like, you'd end up with a worse situation. And is this not a little bit disturbing? You're gonna skin the baby goat and make sure to include the ears? If I was a baby goat, I would not accept it if my farmer tried to wrap me around with some other dead baby goat skin. That would be disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But I guess the goal is clear. Once you drink from the mummy milkers, it means you've been accepted as part of the gang. But can't the baby goat just do a little bit of a, you know, like a P. Diddy and just like run up to the mother goat and just start like drinking the mummy milkers, like directly from the mummy milkers without, you know, like dressing up as the baby goat?
He shoved handfuls of live cockroaches in his mouth during a cockroach eating contest.
Whoa.
As he attempted to swallow them, he suddenly began to choke. The live roaches had caused his throat to constrict, completely cutting off his air supply. The crowd watched as he gasped for air, and he was rushed to the hospital. But it was too late, and he was pronounced dead.
Bro, what sort of contest is this? A cockroach eating contest? Since when did this exist? Is that actually a real thing? And why would it be live cockroaches? Because I've heard of eating, you know, dead bugs and all that stuff, but why live? Like, isn't that animal cruelty? No wonder why they fought back and tried to kill you. I mean, they did successfully kill you, but it also looks like they managed to kill this guy as well. They somehow took control of his brain, gave him a homemade lobotomy, and forced him to repeatedly smash his head into the bowl. Okay, yeah, that'll give him a bit of brain damage. That'll give him at least stage 2 brain damage. What do cockroaches even taste like? Are you doing it for the flavor, or are you just doing it for, like, the dare? Because me personally, I really do not find it impressive when people eat cockroaches. I just find it disgusting. Like, is this how they're meant to farm aura, have Riz? Is this really how they're like, is this 2025 Riz? If a woman ever started eating cockroaches in front of me to try Riz me up, I might, in GTA, might throw her off a bridge.
They found hair, bones, and limbs in the man's swollen stomach. You see, he ignored his unusually large stomach for years, until severe pain finally sent him to the hospital. Doctors thought it was a tumor, but during surgery, they found something shocking. You see, when he was inside his mother's womb, he had a twin that didn't fully develop. And instead of separating, the twin became trapped inside him, feeding off the man's body for decades. The doctors removed it, and the man made a full recovery.
Bro, that man just got an abortion. He actually got an abortion. So he was pregnant this entire time. He is the reason. He is the sole reason why we have a pregnant man emoji. I was always wondering why we have a pregnant man emoji, but I guess this explains it. So it is technically possible to get pregnant as a man. That is, I mean, okay, we do not discriminate in the 7-Elevens community. That's okay, okay? If you want to get pregnant as a man, that's okay. So I guess that's why you should always wear protection, even when you're doing the frickety with another man. But I wonder whether the twin was alive, because technically it was a little bit alive, because it was feeding off of him. But then they just decided to kill it, because I think the twin tried to dominate the host body. Imagine if they did a switcheroo. Imagine if the twin grew so big that it sort of enveloped the actual guy, like the fully grown man.
He had another head growing right on top of his own, one that could blink and smile independently. And this head was actually his twin that didn't fully separate in the womb. It would cry when he laughed and stare blankly when he slept. Now, each head was actually functioning off of their own separate brains. But when he was 4, the boy was bitten by a snake, and both heads passed away together.
Bro, what a trash teammate. You couldn't clutch up the victory royale. You die at 4 years old. That would have been like a really, really valuable like case study for like medicine and human medicine and like study and all that stuff if he managed to survive when he was older. How are you gonna let yourself get bitten by a snake at 4 years old and die? I already know this guy is so mad at his brother for not being able to clutch it up. That's like playing Fortnite on duos and like you're the only one left and you're like carrying the other guy's reboot card and like you're getting shot at by like another team. Me personally, if I was in that situation, I would have clutched it up, but yeah, I guess he was 4 years old, so that's a bit of a skill diff. But Jesus Christ, this looks a little bit scary. I mean, like, we do not make fun of genetic conditions. Okay, we do not make fun of them, but like at the same time, like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this. When the guy was sleeping, the other head was just staring blankly. That would be insanely creepy to be a parent of. I wonder what the parents said about this. So I guess this guy literally has one eye open when he's sleeping. Well, I guess 2 eyes open. He has a built-in radar. He's always on the lookout. No one can ever catch him lacking.
They crept towards the house, keeping their footsteps light so they wouldn't be heard, all to steal a bucket of poop. You see, in Japan, poop was really valuable. Farmers needed it as fertilizer, helping crops grow faster. And people even traded their poop in exchange for food. Eventually, human poop became so valuable that thieves risked getting caught just to steal it.
Bro, that's an IRL infinite money hack. Is that not an IRL infinite money hack? Because you can just keep infinitely pooping and just selling your poop for gold and food and all that stuff. But it looks like this thief was willing to even dive into this guy's Gaiat to extract even more poop. Okay, so I guess instead of getting pickpocketed, you get like yap popping it. You find someone's hand, like fist, up your ass, trying to like search for some like poo. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and someone's arm is like elbow deep up your ass trying to search for whatever remaining poop you have. But isn't there like a hack with this? Like, can't you just eat a lot of food and then drink I don't know, like laxatives or something? Like eat laxatives and then you can just poop out even more? Because I was gonna say at the start, like, why can't you just ask someone for their poop in their house? Because I assumed that like maybe it wasn't that valuable. But since it is valuable, I guess everyone was guarding their own poop with their life. Like everyone's wealth in Japan depended on how much poop they could safely store and guard and produce every single day. Bro, if this was like a thing in like 2025, the present day, I would potentially be the first, like the world's first trillionaire. My explosive diarrhea would make me absolutely filthy rich.
After you're cremated, your ashes are mixed with metal salts to make vibrant colors before they're carefully sealed inside firework shells. Your family members can even choose the colors and the order of the fireworks show. When the fireworks are launched, they shoot hundreds of feet up into the sky. So when you die, your loved ones can watch you go out with a bang.
Okay, this seems a little bit disrespectful. Like I don't know whether it's just me, but I would not be happy like, if my ashes were just blown up in fireworks. That is insane. That just seems like the biggest frick you humanly possible. Like, I feel like this is something you'd do to your worst enemy. Like, you'd get their ashes and just blow them up in like a bomb or like a firework. It sort of seems like they're mocking this guy's death. Like, how hard is it to just cremate someone and just bury them underground? But instead, you're gonna make them all rainbow and everything? Like, you're gonna make them every single color of the rainbow? What if this was like some really old conservative dude who was like very anti-LGBTQ or something, and you just lit him up every single color of like the LGBTQ flag? And they've even got a holy Bible here, as if the holy Bible is gonna reverse the disrespectfulness of blowing up your family member in a firework. No amount of praying can turn this into like a good thing. Like, that's me personally. I just think this looks extremely disrespectful.